this is for our audience. This is, I do this based on just kind of like a grading scale. I've talked to 35 coaches around the country over the off season, seeing what they got, seeing who's where, who's what, who's got transfers, who's got returning players. The freshmen, I'm super excited to see some of these freshmen too make impact. So without further ado, I'm just going to rattle off. We'll just go and start like 20 to 15 and just see where we're at there. So me, number 20, this team has been good the last couple of years, and I've loved this team because they're from my hometown area. But I think Northeastern has lost a lot of players off of their team. They're losing Chris Wilk, losing Wynton Bastion, and then obviously above all, losing Sam Bellamy at goaltender. I think that's going to be a big hit for them. They still have some good players back, like Patty Judge and others, and they've got some D1 transfers coming in. But I don't know. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a step back for the Sled Dogs this year. Northeastern is going to be my number 20 team. My 19 is Arizona. I think Arizona has a really good shot to take a big leap this year in the MCLA, out in the SLC. They obviously their kind of big prize acquisition is Jackson Boop coming over as a deep hole, and they have a lot of deep holes coming back, but I think they have a lot more depth this year than they have had in years past. So I'm going to put Arizona up there at number 19. Number 18, I like BC, man. Boston College. I know that they haven't really had a great couple of seasons, but they've been right there, and they have this huge senior class, a big senior class coming in at Chestnut Hill. I really, really am excited to see. I think they're going to win the CLC, if I'm being honest. I really do. I think they've got, and again, they bring in some D1 guys, a couple of Holy Cross guys, UMass Lowell dudes. They've got some really nice schools represented from their freshmen, but they just are full of seniors, and I like that continuity of those guys. So props to BC. Coming in at number 17, UCSB. UCSB is kind of a weird team to me. I was shocked last year that they won their conference. But Colin McGrath and Grady Ward, Colin McGrath is one of the best deep holes in the country. And then Grady Ward, I think, is a little water bug midfielder / attackman that could cause a lot of teams problems. So they're going to be top heavy. I do wonder about their depth, but their coach is so good. I love UCSB's coaching every single year. And then at 16, I'm going to go Florida State. Team likes to run a lot. Florida State has, they have Jack Schiffel back at LSM, but I always thought they were fun to watch because they just like to shoot and they like to run. Tyler Morris, Dean Rothschild, guys like that, all back. So that's kind of my 20 through 16 there for you. I don't know if you have any reaction to that.
Yeah, I trust your opinion more than anyone's. I know how much research and everything you do, but yeah, I agree with all that. I like the BC pick. I think continuity is probably one of the biggest things that help out with MCLA teams. It's tough, bringing in all new guys to a club team and trying to win. I think, having a big senior class and having guys who have been around for a while is pretty huge, and BC's got that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I just think that team is ready. That team is ready to take another leap and finally get over Northeastern, dethrone them. I'm gonna go to 15. Like we talked about, Clemson. I think they're ready to also take that next leap. We just talked about how much depth they have, and depth. I just think that is the number one key to winning here in this league. I do worry about the goaltender position, but everywhere else I feel really confident. I think they could win this conference. I really do. I think they are that good. They're going to have a tough go of it, but Clemson has all the firepower to do it. 14, it was hard to gauge where I wanted to put Florida, but this kind of felt like the right area just because they lost so many guys and so many big players, not just Hess. Obviously, that's a monster. But, like Kobe Kudla was such a good deep hole for them last year. And then they lost other guys too. They have this great sophomore deep hole named Matt Shannon that I talked to Garrett Hannerham before he left last year. and he says this kid is really ready to take the next step. He's going to be one of the best players in the country next year. So I'm excited to see how he does. And they have I Am Surrey back in goaltenders, so they still have a lot of talent. And they're bringing in some dudes. They're bringing in big names. The Tufts transfers coming in at midfield. They've got a kid from Denver at the faceoff dot. They're going to be solid. So I'm not going to sleep on them, but I definitely am not sure if they're Final Four capable, but I think they should be good. 13, I'm going Chapman. Again, this is another team that needs a rebound year, right? I mean, they just had a rough year last year. But this year, I think they brought in so many guys for, again, depth purposes, a lot of transfers. Nico Orsino back. I love Rocco Reginelli. I think he's a good player. And then, I don't know if you saw this kid play. Ryan Shugart in goaltender. He was a freshman last year. He was excellent for them. He was really, really good. So I'm really excited to see how Chaptown comes back. 11 is Arizona State. Again, we know how Arizona State runs. They have maybe one of the best deep holes and D lines in the country. Aiden Cox leading that. Murakami is on there. They have new coach this year as well. So new things going on in both Arizona schools. I'm looking forward to them. And yeah, they're actually number 11. I skipped over one team. So 12, I'll go back to 12 really quick, is Colorado State, my first RMLC team. And they're going to lose Cale Kissel off this team. But again, they bring in D1 transfers as well, more depth, and a lot of freshmen, big freshman class that they feel like are going to play. And I like their coach. I like Coach McDonald a lot. I've gotten a chance to talk to him. I think he's got the right vibe and the right mindset for this team. It's a team that really wants to get back to the MCLA tournament. So just a close reaction. Any teams that stand out to you there in the top 15?
Yeah, I know Chapman definitely had a down year last year, but I think they're a team that can always bounce back, even if they have years like that. And just bringing in a ton of transfers is going to be huge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The depth is definitely there for them. All right, top 10. Here we go, folks. Number 10. I'm going San Diego State. I know they got a top 5 ranking from USA Lacrosse, and they could be really, really talented. I question the depth a little bit. I am interested to see that. I like Finn Shield a lot. He's a good midfielder for them. But this team is always so gritty. I feel like they're getting every ground ball. They have their entire attack line really coming back. We know they were really good 2 years ago, and when they had that great attack line, and they gave BYU a great win or a great run in the MCAA tournament before BYU ended up winning the national tournament. So San Diego State, always a power. I probably have them up at number 10. Number 9, I'm going Colorado, because I just think Colorado, again, we talk about goalie, but I'm all in on face-off too. And this Kolagowski kid, Mike Kolagowski, I mean, this kid is incredible. I love Mike Kolagowski at the face-off dot. He gave BYU so many fits last year, ended up getting a chance to beat them last year. And I think they have the right formula this year with, they've got guys like Cooper Penoyer coming back, who I really like. Just some other dudes as well. Craig Nam, Xander Gardner. I think they have some, again, D1 talent. They bring in a Denver transfer, Queens transfer at the midfield as well. Villanova transfer at LSM, Connor Nesbitt. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. They got a lot of talent coming in, transferring into Boulder. So I'm excited about that. This one is interesting. I think I'm going to surprise some people with these next two, but I'll put Georgia Tech at number 8. I know they're the defending runner-ups, but it's very hard to replace. Just like Liberty is going to be replacing most of their guys, they're losing Barrow, they're losing Rose, and on top of that, they're also losing Pierce Quarles. So they're losing their best 3 offensive players, and that's going to be hard to replace. But they typically do have guys in the pipeline. Andrew Belly will do that. Matt Seifert will do that. And then talk about face-off. I remember talking to Caleb Hammett last year, the Drip King, and he said to me the best face-off guy in the country last year, that gave him the most fits, was Charlie Cardullo, who transferred in from Denver last year. And Charlie whooped him in the national championship game, if you remember that game. So I think having that weapon on the field, probably the best face-off guy in the country, that's really going to give Georgia Tech a leg up. And they have a ton of defenders coming back, too, and a couple of goalies to mix and match. Number 7, I'm going to put Liberty at number 7. I know that might, again, shock some people, but I need to see it because it wasn't just Mose and Landry and Giltonen and the Drip King and all those guys. Outside of all those guys leaving, they had a lot of guys leave in the fall. And I am really interested to see where this leadership comes from. I know Luke Branham is still there on the offensive end. They got this kid Easton Cahill that I think is going to be really, really good. That is solid. All the depth that they had last year now has to play, and there are a lot of young guys. You can't rely on the player of the year or Landry or any of those guys anymore. So I just got to see it from them. Goaltender I think is going to be interesting. Face off, how are they going to replace that? They have a lot of questions. And then at 6, I'm going to put Virginia Tech right ahead of them. They played in the fall. Really good game. Came down to the wire, as usual. Virginia Tech snuck it out by 1. But Alex Ashley was the killer last year. This is the only team to beat Liberty last year. Alex Ashley had his way with that team. It was the first game of the year, so it is what it is. But I think the defense, like you said, Cal Ware, great player. Christian Edwards, I think, has a chance to go All-American this year, too. He's super athletic. And again, they run their system so well, and they have great coaching. I mean, Panchito is such a good coach. I think that they're going to really be solid. So that's the first half of the top 10. I know I'm sticking the 2 teams in the national championship in there and a couple other teams. Just some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think you said Liberty and GT were in the championship last year, but both lost a lot of guys. I think they definitely gotta prove it early, and so I mean, can't say they're top 5 teams yet, but definitely have the potential. So I think 7-8's a good spot to start out at.
Sure. I think so too. Virginia Tech being ahead of them. It was tough out there. I think Colorado's got a great chance, dude. I mean, I think they really brought in a lot of good transfers too in their team. So I'm interested to see what they do too. All right, to the top 5. There's some big names here. Number 5, we're going to start with Tennessee. I do think Tennessee is warranted to be ahead of those teams. They just have everyone coming back. I know the big loss is Mason Kane, and that's going to be an issue, but they have Tommy Guys coming back. They have Max DeMella at the faceoff. That was good. Gornick, the goalie, was really good for them last year. All the defenders are back, but the biggest piece coming back to me is Logan Aiello. He missed basically the entire 2025 season, but in 2024, he was just as good as Kane, and that they were like the tandem. And now he's going to be back. If he's anything like he was in 24, Tennessee's going to score a lot of goals. They're going to score a lot of goals this year with him. So I'm looking forward to watching them play. My team that's going to make that jump, my Florida for this year, is South Carolina. I think this is a team looking like I thought you were spotting. You stole my thunder a little bit, Andrew. No lie, but I'm right there with you. I think South Carolina. I am so excited to watch South Carolina this year. I think that they could be maybe the best team in the country. You bring back Nate Wolf off of a crazy freshman campaign, one of the best freshmen in the country. He's already a preseason All-American. Casey Hurley coming back too. But then you've got, Colin Young, Kyle Anthony, a lot of defenders back, coming back like, Nick Perrone. They've got a great freshman class with a bunch of really good kids coming in from New York and New Jersey and a player of the year from Charleston. But then you talk about, and me and you have kind of collabed on this, is the amount of transfers that they have. Zach Hammerschmidt, the D-mid from Dickinson College, I think is really good. They're excited about him. Blake Resnick from Dickinson as well. But the 2 I'm most excited about are Charlie Van Hook from Salisbury, big, giant, deep hole. And then one that we talked about earlier in the week was Hunter Sanford coming from Rutgers. Really, high prize, pretty decently high prize recruit, I would say, coming over from a really good program at Rutgers. So I think that's going to be a fascinating group. Just before we move on, like your thoughts about South Carolina and maybe Tennessee and a word on that and just those teams and how much they've been able to add.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive all the guys. I mean both of them have brought in and also are returning too. Yeah, I think they're definitely both up there. And then looking at South Carolina's schedule now, um, get off to kind of a late start with February 6th. Start off with Bama, Ole Miss, and UCF, and then Tennessee's on the 15th. So
Hmm.
that will be that'll be a huge game to see, and see who's the better of those two. But yeah, after that, definitely got a tough schedule. It seems like in the past couple of years they've played some tough games early and lost, and then had to win a bunch late to to almost not save their season, but just kind of come back from the start. So looks like they kind of have the opposite now, where they can get off to a good start and then head into those good games with some momentum. So I think that could be a difference maker from the past couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Pete finally learned like we can't go 0-5 and then get like 8-5. Like that's crazy that they honestly. I was a big advocate for them last year getting in. I thought that they deserved it, but they were. It was crazy the runs they have gone on in the past. So looking for that third natty. Number 3, I'm going Texas. I know that Carl Hartzell left, but Luciano Di Donatis is going to be a really good head coach for them. I think he's going to pick up where Kyle left off. Again, I know Maury Stein was a great player, probably second. He's got the second vote, maybe third vote for Player of the Year last year. I mean, he was excellent for them, but they have a ton coming back too. I mean, I love Jack Eigen. He's already on the preseason All-American list. Luke Skanga, Breck Thielen, I really liked. Their deep holes are very, very good. I mean, Cash Wiley was an excellent player for them last year. Luke Fournier is a big body inside. Jack Tennant, Jackson Bishop transferred from Drexel last year. They've got depth at the goaltender position. They've got Kyan Levine and Jack Monahan. Either one of those kids can play. And then having their faceoff guy back, they didn't have a faceoff guy all year last year. So that was a huge problem for them. I think them coming back and being able to play is going to be big. But I agree with you at the top. I think after that, there's a gap. And the two Utah schools are just crazy good. I mean, Utah Valley has been knocking on the door. I actually have Utah Valley at number 2. I know that they have number 1. I have Utah Valley at number 2. I think Blake is back with Blake Yates. He's going to be outstanding. I'm looking forward to seeing Tyson Maury come over from SVU and see how he does. They've still got, Donatelli and other players. They're like have this very quiet. I talk to those guys a lot and players over there and coaches. And they have a very quiet, they don't want to talk to anybody. They're like, we're soldiers this year. Like they feel they have a bone to pick. Like they've been so close the last 2 years. I feel like they're very, very highly motivated. Pat Thomas is going to replace Max Sturgill. That's huge. They have maybe also another really good faceoff guy in Lundin. He's going to be really good for them. But number 1 is BYU. And I hate saying that because I know that they're the blue chip, and I think it's a boring pick maybe, but they are just – Gavin Taylor's going to be up for Player of the Year. I don't think there's a question. Stu Vassow has been there forever, and he's excellent. But again, Hutton Murphy, I'm looking forward to watching him play. They might have the best goaltender in the country. Easton Wilkie is soft mitts, man. He is excellent. And then they add all these transfers. They add Mason Quick from Utah. He's going to be excellent. J.P. Jones, deep hole from Manhattan. I'm looking forward to watching him play. They got other deep holes coming back. They got to replace some leaving, but I think they feel good about where they're at. And again, the depth is there. Face-off guys, they'll have a couple of the Benyon brothers will be there. That's really where they need to improve. But I think if they get their defense back and rolling, offensively, they're going to be amazing. And I think that's why they're number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with all that. I think BYU and Utah Valley maybe almost interchangeable 1 and 2, but I think both of them are for sure the top 2.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's gonna be interesting to see that group of teams and who's gonna challenge those two, because it feels like those two are just on a collision course every year. And last year. I think they split last year. I think BYU got them in the regular season, and then UVU ended up winning the RMLC. So really fun year. Looking forward to that as well, and looking forward to seeing all the coverage that you get to do. And I appreciate us collabing a little bit as well, and getting a chance to talk about some of the best teams in the country. And I'll just ask you at the end of the day, do you have a team? I'll ask you both. I'll put you on the spot. Do you have a team you feel like is going to come out of the ALC in Division I and Division II?
Like winners for now.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with Tennessee. I think Wake Forest goes back to back.
Repeat. Okay, I like it. Wake Forest, a lot of depth there. I like that. Tennessee. Why Tennessee?
I think just the consistency the past 2 years, it seems like, they've just been getting closer and closer each year, and I think this is the year they finally get it.
Okay. Heard it here first. And Andrew, I got to put you on the spot for one more thing. Go for it, whatever you want to say, but who would you pick right now, if you had to win the national championship?
I think I'll go with Utah Valley right now.
Oh, I like it.
I think, bringing a lot of guys back. I think they're still pissed about losing back in 2024. I think they're hungry and they want it this year.
Awesome. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming on here. I mean, this is such you're such an influential person in this world, in this little niche world that we all live in, and we're excited to see. We always get excited when it's amazing. I have coaches that you've put out like polls, like before the polls would come out in March, the coaches poll. You would put out polls, and I'd have coaches saying, "Yeah, we're ranked like 7th in the country." And I'm like, from Varsity Club. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Like, yeah, we got ranked by Varsity Club 7th in the country. I'm like, oh, that's got to feel good for you. And congratulations on all your success, man.
Appreciate it. And thanks for having me on. Appreciate all
Yeah.
the work you do too. It's definitely a lot more detailed than what I do, more in depth. So I think people like that too, more than just the graphics.
Hey, you are the premier place to go. So I appreciate the kind words, and I'm sure we'll collab more on some other things going down the line. So
Yeah,
appreciate you,
definitely.
Andrew.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.